Okay, so they never wanted you to grow up. Now, they could be literal people. They could be the generational curses. They could be the witches, like the demons, whatever. They never wanted you to grow up. Now, when I originally was thinking on this, when I was originally receiving this, it was from the viewpoint of the issues that I've had with different family. Has all of it been malicious? Absolutely not. Has all of it been wicked? Absolutely not. And I want to say Sarah Jakes just said on this on a recent sermon, like the one from the other day. But like, even when you talk about just transitioning in life, when a parent is no longer like in control of your life and they're there, to give you advice and to guide you, but it's like they're not in control of your life. You're in control of your life. Like you at a big age. You get what I'm saying? So that is one example. But then there are instances where people didn't want you to grow up because you growing up meant that you were maturing. It meant that you were leveling up. It meant that you were blessing up. And they didn't want to see that happen for you because it didn't happen for them. Something kept them stagnant in their life. Something is keeping them in my dad calls it a do loop. Like something is keeping them in one of those. And so because they're frustrated about that in their life, they didn't want to see it happen for you, which brings me to a different separate word, but that's why they didn't want to see you grow up. In my case, it's people who are generally older than me, and it's like they made me feel like I wasn't allowed to have certain blessings unless they had it first, or I was undeserving of certain blessings because they didn't have it. I can't imagine making my sister feel like that in this time of her life when all these amazing things are happening for her, and I make her feel like, girl, you don't even deserve that. Because why? Because I'm older and I didn't get it first. Like, that's not how that works. That is a very bad heart posture. And so some family, y'all can be even closer in age, right? They will do that. They didn't want you to grow up because you growing up forces them to take a look at where they are now and the decisions that they made when they were your age. That is just real life. And it doesn't even have to be family. It could be anybody, any onlookers, anybody watching you, anybody witnessing you grow up. And so we can take what's happening so personal when it's really not. It's just that the way you live your life is causing them to take a hard look at theirs, and they don't like what they see. So they never wanted you to grow up. So if it's, the innocent type of they didn't want you to grow up, like it's your parents or whatever, like, no, like you can always be my baby, and they want to feel like they're in control. Or it can be not so innocent, and it's people that didn't want you to grow up because they didn't want you to have what came with growing up. They didn't want you to have big girl blessings. They didn't want you to have grown man blessings, right? They didn't want you to make big girl moves. They didn't want you to be able to make grown man moves. And they're not in that place to do it. So you got to understand that, right? Now, they can also be you. It could be your insecurities, your fears, right? You in your comfort zone. So the best example I can give you is me recently being like, okay, so I just shared that blog post earlier today from 2017. My dad was like, you're going to have to learn how to braid because who's going to braid your baby's hair? And I'm like, mama. She was like, no, I'm not. I had to prove a lot of stuff to myself in the last couple of years, like that I could take care of myself, right? Like I thank God for my parents, and I'm so glad they're still here. And I always pray that they live to be like literally 500 years old. And so I had to prove though at this big age, like, Megan, you can take care of yourself. You can do for yourself, because it's supposed to be a transition of where when your children become adults, now they can do stuff for you. They can spoil you. I can go over there and I can do my mama hair because she did mine my whole life growing up. You get what I'm saying? So that's natural. That's supposed to happen in life. But for me, I was always able to kind of lean on them in certain ways, but also, like, I'm going to stick to the braiding hair example. I could lean on her as like a crutch to like, I never have to learn how to do it for myself because my mama does it. My mama does it. My mama does it. And I remember being younger and I had a homegirl and she would be on me like, you just, like, you don't want to grow up. Like, I couldn't wait to get out of my mom and them house. Okay, that's fine. That's you. Again, I had different circumstances growing up. Like, you was in the house with your mom and them all the time. I didn't get that consistently because my daddy was always going for work. So there was a period of my young adult life. And even now, like, we do stuff together all the time. We kick it and people can't understand it. Like, you're grown. You're 30. Why are you with your parents? Grow up. That always threw me for a loop because I was always mature and it would always be people and I was able to take care of myself better than them. I never understood that. Like, you trying to play me for like immature and stuff, but like I hold this down over here. Like, my daddy taught me how to hold it down over here. That was a benefit from always being around him. Like, I learned how to take care of myself in this regard and then pay my bills on time. Not have to ask nobody for nothing. Really take on different mindsets. Like, that's a blessing from being around him like that. But it was literally always, the people that were saying that was always like low-key haters. Like, it was never like from a place of like, I just really wholeheartedly think you need to grow. I am growing up. What are you talking about? I got a mortgage. What are you talking about? I need to what? Like, I never understood that. But they'll do that to try to play you. People love to do that with me and Morgan. Like, we wouldn't be here without my daddy. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely blessed from his obedient sacrifices, right? For sure. But he taught me how to take care of myself, and it's been that for years. I recently had a dream where I was arguing with somebody because she was trying to play me, and I was like, I feel like this is a distraction. I feel like this is a distraction. Like, I'm not supposed to be angry because this is something I should be used to at this point. They tried to play all of my accomplishments knowing darn well, okay, that my daddy taught me how to do for me and how to take care of me and taught me how to get it. Like, that's what he taught me. And so people will try to play you in that regard as well. But they didn't want you to grow up. I got family that still want to see me as, like, dumb. They just always want to see me as, like, nerdy, geeky, 12-year-old, defenseless, don't defend herself, always bullied Megan. And it's not that. It's not that. It's not. And they have a hard time accepting that. People would be better off worried about themselves. But they didn't want to see you grow up. I might be being a little too honest, but they didn't want to see you grow up. For some instances, it is like they just hating and they're having a hard time. In some instances, it's your parents, and it's just a transition. My family has been going through a transition since Morgan got engaged, okay? Like, that's going on a whole year. We've been going through a major transition. It's hard to see your babies grow up, because as soon as I braided my hair, I was like, this mean you're not going to braid my hair no more? I'm like, my mama is never going to do my hair again because she know I can do it for myself. Like, no! Then she going to be asking me to do hers. No! And that's what she said. She's like, no, I'm still going to braid your hair, but now we know, like, we got options. Like, exactly. But it's hard to, you know, go through that transition. People have written books about this type of transition with families, like where your children are no longer children, they're adults and they're starting their own families. People write books about that. That's not supposed to be the easiest thing for parents. But God-fearing parents, they make it through, right? They have to let go of the reins. They have to trust God, love their child more than they love their child. But yeah, some people, they just want to see you as like same little cousin who, no, ain't nothing little. I'm little, but ain't nothing little about me, baby. You know what I'm saying? Big motion over here. Big blessings, big obedience, big I follow the Lord on my own and do what he tells me to do in my life. That's why I'm getting these big rewards. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop playing with me. But sometimes it's that. But you got to be able to, I've been laughing at everything. I've been taking stuff serious, but not too serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to know what's going on and, like, move accordingly and not be mad at folks. Like, because it is what it is. And you got to know that. And you can't stop because they want you to stop. Because they want you to stay little 12-year-old Megan. Baby, I'm grown. 30 years old. I'm 30 years old. Doing 30-year-old things. You get what I'm saying? God-fearing 30-year-old things. All right? So, I love y'all. I pray this helps whoever is for. See you in the next few videos.